Welcome. We are again gathered for the annual general meeting in Pexip Holding ASA. My name is Michelle Sagan and I'm the chair of the board of Pexip Holding, and I have the pleasure of welcoming you to this virtual general meeting. Thank you to all Pexip shareholders who are logged in today. With me here today, I have present from the management team our CEO Trond Johannessen, CFO Øystein Hem, our investor relations director Kristina Arnesen, and general counsel Beate Nygårdshaug. We also have the chair of the nomination committee, Dag Koda, here, as well as Sjurd Henninger and Jostein Eng from DNB Investor Services, who will make sure that we count the shares and votes correctly. We also have my fellow board member, Kjell Skappel, in the room. A few opening remarks before we get started with the official agenda. Today marks the first anniversary of our CEO, Trond Johannessen, being at the helm of our company. It has certainly been an eventful year for Pexip, and 2022 certainly was a year of transformation where Pexip underwent significant changes to get back to a healthy and profitable business. It has been a challenging year, but on behalf of the board, I want to thank Trond, the management team, and all of Pexip's employees for the effort and the willingness to adapt and evolve. The board strongly believes that with this transformative year behind us, Pexip is now well positioned for a new chapter, and we have a positive outlook for the future. I will now leave it to Pexip's General Counsel, Beate Nygårdshaug, who has been proposed to chair the meeting, to give you some practical information, and leave it to her to open the meeting. Beate?
Thank you, Michelle. So I'm Beate, and I have the pleasure to guide you through this general meeting. I would like to give you some practical information. You are watching a webcast that will appear on your screen. You will have 4 icons on your screen. It's Home, Messaging, Voting, and Documents. By pressing Home, you will find the technical information and details. By pressing Messages, you will have the opportunity to see messages sent from other shareholders attending today. You will also have the opportunity to write comments or questions if desired. Please note that you will be identified by name and your comment will be made available to all shareholders attending. The Documents button will lead you to the notice, and the Voting button will lead you to the items on the agenda today. You can cast your vote by clicking For, Against, or Abstain on each item. So you can vote already now if you prefer. You can cast your vote on all items until they are resolved. So then we will move to the shares represented here today. And if you give me a minute, I will receive an update from the NB. Yeah, so the shares represented here today, it's 3,787,447 shares represented by advanced votes. 922,933 shares are represented by proxy. 1,243,119 shares are represented by instruction. And we have 18,198,164 shares that are attending and voting.
In total?
In total. So, and
no, they are voting here in the room, right? And then there's a total.
That's not correct. I say it again. We have 18. Is that correct?
Yes, so there are 4 shareholders attending and voting online, which are representing 18 million.
18 million
Correct.
Shares voting online. Okay, so that sums up to a total of 24,151,663 shares, representing 23.82% of the share capital. Should be correct, right, Jostein? Thank you very much, Jostein. DNB is keeping the figure of today's meeting. Good. So then we will open the official agenda of the annual general meeting of Pexip Holding ASA. So welcome and thank you for participating. We will follow the notice that the agenda in the notice. Please note that we will vote on some items at the same time. So we will start with item 1 and item 2 and vote on them together. So item 1, election of the chair of the meeting and 1 person to co-sign the minutes. Item 2, approval of the notice and the agenda. So the board has proposed myself to chair the meeting and Dag Koda to co-sign together with Michelle Sagen. So the board asks you to approve the notice and the agenda. So please cast your vote on item 1 and item 2. I would like to point out that you're free to vote on the rest of the items already now if you prefer. Right. Okay. The voting has now closed, and the count shows that item 1 and item 2 have been approved with sufficient votes. Thank you. You will receive the exact figures of the voting together with the minutes after the general meeting. So the meeting is legally convened and the agenda is adopted. We will then move to item 3, approval of the annual accounts and annual report for 2022. So the board's report and the financial statements were published in the annual report on March 29th and are available on the website. The board asks the general meeting to approve the report and the financial statements. So I will ask you, please cast your vote on item 3. A few more minutes. We have some technical issues. Give us a minute. Thank you for waiting. Now we have received all the votes and the resolution has received sufficient majority. Thank you. So the general meeting has approved the board's report and the financial statements for 2022. We will then move to the next item, which is item 4, approval of auditor remuneration. The board asked the general meeting to approve the auditor's fee as it's set out in note 5 in the annual accounts for 2022. You can please cast your vote for item 4. I'll take a brief. Thank you. The count shows that we have received sufficient majority. The general meeting has approved the auditor's fee. Thank you very much. We will then move to the next item, item 5. Please note that we will vote for all 3 proposed resolutions under item 5. Item 5.1, 5.2, and 5.3. I refer to the full proposal from the nomination committee that was enclosed to the notice and are available on the website. So please cast your vote for item 5.1, 5.2, and 5.3. Received sufficient votes. The count shows that item 5.1, 5.2, and 5.3 are approved. We will then move to item 6, nomination committee. Again, reference is made to the nomination committee's proposal, where no changes to the current committee are proposed. You will see the full resolution on your screen. Please note that you need to vote separately on each candidate. So I'll ask you, please vote on item 6. Thank you. We have received sufficient votes. All candidates are approved. We will then move to item 7, election of directors of the board. Reference is made to the nomination committee's proposal that was published 29th of March and available on the website. We have here today Dag Koda, the chair of nomination committee, to say some words about the changes proposed. So please, Dag, the word is yours.
Thank you, Beate. So I will assume that the nomination is read, and as such limit myself to the headlines this time. What I can say is that the election committee this year has had a fairly extensive process. We started out early in the fall, and we've had a number of meetings and discussions with different shareholders, directors, and management, as well as a number of meetings in the committee itself. A bit of a backdrop has been that we have this year 3 directors that have come to the end of their election term. These are Michel Sagen, Per Kokstad, and Irene Christiansen. I think I can say we've had 3 main drivers behind the process in the committee this year. One is that Michel Sagen has expressed a wish to step down as chairman. The other is that the nomination committee has, after discussing with shareholders and directors, come to the conclusion that the board as of now is a little too large, and we would like to reduce from 7 to 5 directors. And the third driver is that we've received input from both the board or board members and from shareholders that there is a need for more deep technology competence on the board. Technology is very much a company, and that should be also reflected maybe better in the board composition. So with these 3 drivers, the committee has proposed first that Kjell takes over as chairman. Kjell was elected vice chair in the last general meeting. He's been with Pexip for many years, both as a director and chairman. And he also knows the industry very well from management positions in Tandberg and Cisco System. There are also several key shareholders who have expressed the wish to have Kjell in this position, which of course weighs very heavily on the nomination committee. So that's the first big change. The other big change is that we propose that Geir Langfeldt Olsen becomes a new board member. Geir is a very respected and experienced private investor. He also knows the industry well, with background from, in particular, Tandberg/Cisco and Acano. We think that he will be a great contribution to the board. And then we are proposing that Silvia Ceres steps onto the board. Silvia has a pretty impressive CV, including MBAs from INSEAD and PhDs in mathematical science from Oxford University. So here we are talking deep technology competence, and she's also has a very broad background, both as an entrepreneur. She's been member of management and board member of international technology companies. So yeah, we believe that she will be a very good director, and we hope that this really caters to the many requests we've received for more deep tech competence on the board. With this, and given the desire to reduce the size of the board, we also propose that Per Haug Kokstad, Michelle at his own request, and Marianne Wergeland Jensen and Asta Ellingsen Stenshagen all steps down from the board. Irene Christiansen has been a very valuable member of the board, as we understand it, in particular the work she's done with the audit committee. So we are proposing that she is re-elected, and also we propose that Philip Austern remains as a board member for the period which he has been elected. So with this, not sure if you want to put the proposal on screen, Beate. If not, I can
do that.
Quickly summarize it here. So it's a 5-member board being proposed now, with Kjell Skappel as chair, Irene Christiansen, Philip Austern, Geir Langfeldt Olsen, and Silvia Ceres as directors. Thank you.
Thank you, Dag. So then we are ready to vote on item 7. Please cast your vote on each individual candidate. Thank you. Then the count shows that all candidates are approved with sufficient majority, and the resolution will be carried. Thank you very much, and welcome to the new board. Then we will move to the next item, item 8, Statement on Corporate Governance. According to the Norwegian Public Limited Liability Companies Act, the general meeting shall consider the statement on corporate governance, and that is made in accordance with the Norwegian Accounting Act. The board proposes that the general meeting endorses the company's report. You will find the full report on the website. So I will ask you then, please cast your vote on item 8. Thank you. The count shows that item 8 has been approved. So the general meeting has endorsed the report on corporate governance for the financial year 2022. We will then move to the next item, item 9, Guidelines and Report for Senior Executives' Remuneration. So the board has prepared guidelines as well as a report on how members of the senior executive management team were remunerated in 2022. The guidelines and the report were published March 29th and available on the website. The report is subject to advisory vote. We will then ask the general meeting to approve and endorse the guidelines and the report. So please cast your vote on item 9. Thank you. The count shows that item 9 has been approved with sufficient votes. Thank you very much. So we are now soon at the end. We have next 3 items that are related to the 3 board authorizations for the general meeting to approve. This is item 10, general board authorization to issue shares. Item 11, board authorization to issue shares in connection with employee options and incentive programs. And item 12, board authorization to acquire treasury shares. I will not read the full resolutions, however, you will find it on your screen and in the notice. The purpose of the 3 authorizations is to give the board flexibility to issue shares and acquire treasury shares in certain situations where it's considered beneficial for the company. The board's policy is to keep net dilution below 3% per year, and Pexip has for the previous years kept it lower in practice. Please also note that Pexip did not use any of the 3 authorizations that were approved and given from the general meeting last year in 2022. So the board proposes that the general meeting approves the 3 authorizations. All 3 authorizations require supermajority of the votes, meaning 2/3 of the shares represented. All the 3 authorizations will, if approved, replace previous authorizations. So then I think we're ready to vote. Please vote on item 10, 11, and 12. Thank you. The count shows that the 3 resolutions have been approved as proposed. Thank you very much. So then we will move to the very last item on the agenda, item 13, amendment to the Articles of Association. The board finds it appropriate to align the current article with the adopted changes to the Public Companies Act relating to record dates and attendance deadline for general meetings. Thus, the board proposes that section 7 in the articles is amended accordingly. So you will find the full resolution and the proposal on your screen and in the notice. So I will ask you, please cast your vote on the very last item on the agenda. Thank you. This shows the count shows that the item 13 has been approved with sufficient majority. So, and there's no questions or comments, right? And there are no other items on the agenda. So that means that all resolutions have been approved with sufficient votes. And that concludes the IGM of this year. We will publish the signed minutes and relevant figures right after the meeting. However, before we end the meeting, I will give the word to Michel for some closing remarks.
Thank you very much, Beata, and thank you to yourself and everybody who's been involved in planning and running this general meeting. Also, having just completed the successful election of the new board, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the new board and the new board members, and thank the previous board members for whom this phase of the journey will end now. So Marianne, Astein, Per, thank you for all your contributions over many years. On a personal note, as I too will be stepping down from the board, this concludes a 12-year journey for me that started with the inception of Videxia on the 1st of April 2011. That company, as you know, merged with Pexip in 2018 and became what the company is now. I would like to thank everybody who has supported the company in becoming what it is today. And I feel safe to say I hand things over to the most able hands with this management team and Trond and the new board chaired by my trusted longtime colleague Kjell Skappel. Good luck and Godspeed. Thank you.